Welcome to the 2006 NFL Draft, presented by Coors Light.
Is this big? You just saw Radio City Music Hall, one of the best venues of entertainment this country has to offer. And for football, 5,000 strong lined up to get in here. Draft day. And oh yeah, the Jet fans are out because they know that maybe, just maybe, the Heisman Trophy winner could fall to them. This place opened Christmas week in 1932, the site of so many big events. And for the first time, the NFL Draft is here, where we already know that was the green room. We got the big players, and we have Mario Williams, who already has learned in the last 24 hours that he, and not Reggie Bush, is the #1 draft choice. Reggie Bush, will he be number 2 with the Saints, or another suitor? And then quarterbacks, Matt Leinart, a year removed from winning the Heisman Trophy as Bush's teammate at USC. And of course, the mercurial Vince Young. Who can forget his performance for Texas in the Rose Bowl? He's here and will be drafted early. And so, here in Radio
Susie, this has been a very uncomfortable week for Reggie Bush. In a story first reported by Yahoo Sports, here are the allegations made by Michael Michaels and his attorney Brian Watkins about the involvement with Reggie Bush and Bush's parents, Lamar and Denise Griffin. From March 2005 until this month, the Griffins allegedly lived in a $750,000 home purchased by Michaels and never paid $4,500 a monthly rent for a total sum of $54,000. The relationship allegedly began in October 2004 when Lamar Griffin asked Michaels about investing in a sports and marketing company that would initially center on Bush's professional football future. Bush allegedly personally vouched for his stepfather's viability. Bush has denied any knowledge of this arrangement. The Griffins allegedly owe about $300,000 in total expenses. That included trips to Southern Cal games and an initial $28,000 payment to cover the Griffins' outstanding debt. Watkins said this week that they will file a $3.2 million lawsuit claiming that Bush and the Griffins defrauded Michaels. Sources say that David Cornwell, the attorney for the Bush family, told NFL security officials this week that Michaels was trying to extort the family, demanding $500,000 to keep the story out of the public. The NFL on Friday said that it has recommended to Cornwell that he refer the matter to law enforcement officials. At the request of the USC Athletic Department, the Pacific 10 Conference has begun an inquiry, and the NCAA will be in pursuit of the facts. But for right now, these are allegations that the Houston Texans say did not influence their decision to take Mario Williams over Reggie Bush. Boomer.
Thank you very much, Morton. Well, playing football never looked so good to Reggie Bush, who looks pretty good in helmet and shoulder pads, that's for sure. He's now back there wondering, is he the second pick? And if so, is it the Saints or with her? He's with Susie right now. Susie?
Reggie, what's been the toughest thing about being pinpointed as the #1 for so long?
Well, obviously, you know, everybody's expectations of me being the #1 pick, and I think that's just it. You know, everybody expects me to go #1. Everybody, you know, speculating that I'm the #1 pick, and then it comes out I'm not the #1. So, you know, everybody's a little down or distraught, I think, over the decision. But for me, you know, I was preparing for, you know, the best and preparing, you know, to possibly not be #1 pick. So, you know, that's the name of the game, and we're living a dream right now, and we're all excited to be here.
What has your communication been with the New Orleans Saints?
I've talked to them, you know, it's been real positive, and, you know, we're going to see what happens. You know, I don't know, they haven't told me just yet if they're picking me or not, and, you know, we'll see.
What are the chances of a holdout?
Well, for me, I think it's important to get into camp on time, wherever I end up, just to start off, I think, on a good foot with the organization and the community, and you know, just show that, you know, I'm here to play football.
How have you dealt with all of the outside information?
You know, I think I've done pretty well. You know, I haven't let it distract me at all. And, you know, I'm focused on football. I'm ready to play football. You know, I'm not focusing on all the distractions or possibilities that, you know, are being speculated right now. You know, me and my family are happy to be here, and we're living a dream, and we're going to enjoy this whole process.
You'll have a team in just a little while.
I will. Thank you.
Let's go to Chris.
All right, Susie, Reggie, thank you very much. So, now let's look at Reggie Bush's situation. Michael, Tommy, are we let down as football? Are you shocked that Houston let this happen? Do you think that what happened in the last week that Mort reported had an effect? Where are we?
Boom, I am shocked. I am absolutely shocked. When I think about the talent of a Reggie Bush and what he does best, his ability to see the back door, the vision, the cutback ability. And then I think about Gary Kubiak, the new head coach for the Houston Texans, coming over from Denver, bringing that cutback offense over from Denver. I am shocked you let this talent get away because it fits your scheme perfectly. And folks, let me tell you this. I am T.I. Red of hearing people talk about defense wins championships because it's absolutely not true. Points wins championships, and you don't get points for sacks and tackles. You get them for touchdowns, and the Texans just let 25 to 30 touchdowns get away this season.
I'm shocked as well, Michael, and I think that when you look from a football perspective, the career of Mario Williams, this great potentially defensive end, is always going to be measured up against Reggie Bush. And if they both reach full potential, no matter what Mario Williams does as a defensive end, it will never measure up to what Reggie Bush does if he's the great running back that we suspect he is.
Well, they're hoping that he is a #1 pick at defensive end, the likes of which the Bills had once upon a time with Bruce Smith back in 1985.
Bruce Smith was not more valuable than Thurman Thomas.
But they're hoping that it's not a Courtney Brown type pick, as the Cleveland Browns did #1 overall in 2000. Houston, they figured they had Bush Airport. They didn't have room for the running back as well. So now this has all happened, and we even haven't opened up things yet. Let's go down now to the podium, and for the final time at the draft, the commissioner of the National Football League, Paul Tackney.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to football fans here and around the nation. And welcome to Radio City Music Hall here in New York City and to the 2006 National Football League College Draft. Thank you for being here. With the first choice in the 2006 NFL Draft, we have the Houston Texans now on the clock.
All right, Rachel, Charlie, thank you very much. And so now, Reggie Bush, will he go next? The New Orleans Saints are on the clock. They are entertaining phone calls because a lot of folks thought, wait a minute now, we don't have a chance to get Reggie Bush in a trade or whatever. He's going to go one and gone. That's why they have the draft. We'll be back to Radio City Music Hall right after this.
Good, guys.
Radio City Music Hall, everyone, where the New Orleans Saints are on the clock and presumably on the phone. The Saints last year, and look, we all know what happened down with Katrina, and the city is still reeling and working its way toward recovery. It is great that the Saints will be back playing football as a small part, at least emotionally, of the recovery of that area. They were 3-13 last year. Jim Haslett was heroic, just trying to move the players, get things going, even field football teams. But what they've done since then, Haslett has moved on. Sean Payton, longtime assistant, most recently under Bill Parcells, is the new head coach. They have signed Drew Brees, who played 2 very strong years for San Diego, admittedly with a bad shoulder. So that's the Saints on paper. The Saints in the city of New Orleans, what could happen? Could they have Reggie Bush in about 10, 12 minutes? Ed Werder is on hand. Ed?
Well, Boomer, the Saints certainly do have Reggie Bush as the #1 player on their draft board, and as a result, this morning, GM Mickey Loomis and head coach Sean Payton were on the phone with Reggie Bush and his agent Joel Siegel to get a sense of his willingness to play here. They were reassured that he is interested in playing for the Saints, and Tom Benson called those two people in. He said, look, I want to take this guy. I'm excited about it, but I don't want to hold out. I don't want him coming in September. Now, I talked to Benson a few minutes ago. He told me he still supports that position, told me he was getting his private plane prepped to go up and pick up Reggie Bush in New York and bring him back here. Now, you can never discount the possibility of a trade, even if the Saints do take Reggie Bush here. As expected, they could still trade him afterward. I've been told that they've spoken with 3 teams who have top 6 picks, including both teams with multiple #1s. The Jets at #4 and the 49ers at #6. It's going to take an overwhelming offer, I'm told, because as one source here said, hey, drawing a basketball analogy, would you trade LeBron James for anything? Well, Sal Paolantonio is with one of the teams that is interested in possibly moving up for this pick. Let's get the latest from him with the Jets.
Well, Ed, it is clear that the New York Jets this morning called the Saints to gauge their interest in trading that number 2 pick because the Jets would like to go from 4 to 2 to take Reggie Bush. However, when you look at the draft chart, the value chart that all teams use for the first round to go from 4 to 2, the Jets would have to give up the 4th pick, obviously, the number 29 pick in the first round, and then a 3rd rounder. The Jets have the 71st pick in the 3rd round, and the Jets believe that's too high a price considering they were 4-12 and they have a lot of holes to fill. I'm told that the Saints say that's too low a price, that they want more than that. So right now they're in an impasse between the Jets and the Saints. And as you know, Boomer, Eric Mangini comes from that Bill Belichick mold right out of New England, and he is not going to do anything to jeopardize the future of this ball club.
Well, as you also know, Sal, a ball club that had a tough season on the field last year, they need a lot of things, and who knows, you don't mortgage everything to get a Reggie Bush. However, the interesting thing is now the Saints, Tommy, Michael, Mort, Mel, should they be entertaining things, or should they just put juice in this franchise with Reggie Bush?
Boom, I think you absolutely have to take Reggie Bush, and there's a lot of other reasons you have to do it other than on the football field. But on the football field, this is a football team whose running backs collectively got 8 rushing touchdowns. When you look at their punt return average, they average 7 yards per punt return. They rank 27th in the league in kickoff returns. And I think that Reggie Bush has the potential to help in every one of those areas. I believe he is a once-in-a-lifetime ball player. I've seen it once, one time, and you can't pass on it.
And you can put him out there with these scouts. You can move him around that wide receiver, Tom. And you know that owner Tom Benson, he's been on rocky roads with the fans in the Saints area. So what do? You give him this gift because this is exactly what it is. It would be a gift.
No question about it. And one of the teams interested in this pick as well is the Tennessee Titans. They're right there at number 3, but the Tennessee Titans don't have a 3rd round pick, and you need a 3rd rounder to get up in that number 2 slot. Plus, I do know from a Saints official a couple weeks ago, they not desperately, but they really wanted Reggie Bush, and here he's falling into their lap.
If you look at the Saints, Morton, you say, okay, Reggie Bush, you have Drew Brees. If they didn't sign Brees, you would have probably been looking at Liner. Now you have Brees and Bush potentially. Brees, though, coming off that shoulder injury, how's the offensive line going to perform? There was talk about moving Jamal Brown from right tackle to left tackle, so some questionable areas, especially with a quarterback coming off that injury who didn't have a strong arm when he came out of Purdue University. So I think you look at Reggie Bush, what he would mean to this offense, what he would mean on special teams, those unbelievable return skills. Won't be used much as a kick returner, but he will be a punt returner. He will catch the ball in a variety of ways with his great hands. I said all along, the last 3 months, if he was number 85 instead of number 5, he still would have been an early first-round pick as a wide receiver, special football player. So for any team, you say, well, they have a running back, they have this. He can do so many different things creatively in your offense and affect special teams dramatically that for any team, be it Tennessee, be it Green Bay, whoever, the Jets, they all could work Reggie Bush into the mix. He would pay major dividends.
For New Orleans, okay, and you guys have touched on it. This could be a face on your franchise, a franchise that before Katrina and that disaster, a franchise that was rumored to maybe possibly on its way out of town. If you pick Reggie Bush and he turns into the player that you and everybody in football is predicting that he is, then the Saints are literally on the football map for a long time. That's a unique position for them to be in.
No, it really is, and you know, there's been a lot of speculation that the Saints could end up in Los Angeles or what have you, which would be irony for Reggie Bush. But their goal is to keep this team in New Orleans and get it thriving, and Reggie Bush would be a great guy to get it going here, the catalyst.
Well, if they entertain phone calls, we're about to hear about it, because the New Orleans Saints, with the pick in, can change their history for a long time. We go to the podium. Is the commissioner ready to roll? Look, everybody on their feet in Radio City Music Hall. I don't believe it.
With the second choice in the 2006 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Reggie Bush, running back, USC.
Relief for Reggie Bush, his family, his confidants, the people dressed in green and white. Hey, what happened here? They're wondering, but Hey, look, it was going to be a gift for Reggie Bush to go down to 4 for the Jets. And as Sal described, it was too much for them to play with, and the Saints did the right thing. They're on the map. They're on the NFL map. By the way, week 1 at Cleveland, in case you want to know.
Well, you're talking about, as Michael said, reinvigorating the city of New Orleans with this outstanding running back. And I always make that comparison to Gale Sayers. I ought to explain that. It is the combination of quickness, speed, the elusiveness, that natural instinctive ability to run the football, catch the football. You don't find that combination very often.
You know what we're doing this time? We can talk about his football ability all we want, but this is a great person right here. He loves people, and this is what New Orleans needs as they rebuild the city. Someone that will step out and show love to this city. It's a great pick.
You know what I should throw in? Their first home game is going to be our Monday night game, week 3 with Atlanta. Reggie Bush at home, Superdome. That could be quite a scene. Mel, the human highlight reel, Reggie Bush.
Highlights speak volumes, and they really tell the story of Reggie Bush and his remarkable career. You talk about a kid 5'11", 200 to 205 pounds. Say, well, he's small, he can't carry the ball that much weight. Clinton Portis, there were questions about. That's why he went in the second round. Look at the career he's having. Reggie Bush, I've said all along, compared to Gale Sayers or a Marshall Faulk, but more explosive than Faulk, and a guy who can be dynamic in the punt return game. Look at the speed and the way he just runs away from people so easily, so athletically with the football in his hands. You see the cutback ability, the feet, the change of direction, the shiftiness of this field. And that Fresno State team has a few athletes on that defense. Here again, you talk about elusiveness, making people miss in the hole and then exploding. Granted, he had an excellent offensive line to run behind. He certainly had Matt Leinart, Wayne Jarrett, Dominic Byrd, great talent on that offense. But to do in the open field what he does tells you what he can be as a punt returner and creatively utilized in the passing game. I said, if he was number 85, it'd be a first-round pick. You see the hands, the ability to focus on the football in traffic, hand-eye coordination here against Washington State, the punt return game. Again, the feet, the vision with the ball in his hands, and the way he can change the complexion of a game, affect field position so much. I think that is why he was special. I said, hey, if he was just a running back that had mediocre hands and didn't return punts, it would probably be a first-round pick, but not in the top 5. What makes him the number 1, number 2 pick was the fact he's so versatile and so multi-talented.
And Mel, and that's one reason why I don't think the Saints are worried about having a Deuce McAllister, who they've invested a lot of money in the backfield. No different than if the Texans had taken Reggie Bush. They had Dominic Davis. You can use Reggie Bush in so many different ways. And I would like, let's revisit the controversy a little bit about the Texans making this pick and letting Bush slide to New Orleans. I know they had an internal discussion about the 1981 draft when the New Orleans Saints had the first pick, and they chose the Heisman Trophy winner, running back George Rogers of South Carolina. That allowed Lawrence Taylor to fall to the New York Giants at number 2. And of course, Rogers did have a short, productive career, but that's one discussion that took place. But Reggie Bush, of course, a much different back than Rogers.
Historically, 6 running backs from USC have gone in the first round. 2 of them, Hall of Famers. Marcus Allen, O.J. Simpson. And now comes the next plot here in the draft with Tennessee on the clock. USC quarterback Matt Leinart.
Reggie, how would you describe the last 24 hours?
It's been crazy. It's been exciting. I've been nervous, but now it's all said and done. And I'm back on the football team. I'm ready to go play some football.
What do you want the people of New Orleans to know about how you approach the game?
Just that I'm coming there strong. I'm coming there to help win some games. I'm coming there to help the city, get turned around, and we're going to do everything we can to bring a championship to New Orleans.
We'll see you there.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations. Chris?
Reggie, Susie, thank you very much. The Tennessee.
From WWL-TV, the spirit of Louisiana. This is Louisiana's news leader, Channel 4's Eyewitness News.
Good evening, I'm Lee Zurich. Shauna Sanford is off tonight. A franchise that seems to have terrible luck could have caught the biggest break in team history today. With the second pick in the first round, the Saints select college football's Heisman Trophy winner and top player available in the draft, USC running back Reggie Bush. Sports director Jim Henderson joins us live from Saints camp on Airline Drive with more. Jim?
Lee, as you well know, it's one of the hoariest cliches in sports on draft day. We couldn't believe he was still there when it was our turn to choose. Well, today for the Saints, in this winner in the Saints lap. You never want to sound like you were unprepared for any first-round scenario, but that was pretty much happily the case.
We were surprised, not shocked. I mean, we've talked about the chance that we might have the opportunity to take Reggie Bush. You know, I don't think any of us really took it seriously.
So the Saints have drafted Reggie Bush. They have made a trade in the second round. They are on the clock right now to make their second round selection, a trade with the Cleveland Browns, getting them that later in the second round. We'll be back in sports, completely running down the Saints picks to date. Lee?
All right, Jim, we'll see you coming up later on in sports over on Airline Drive. The Saints made Reggie Bush their choice, but who will the people of Kenner choose as their next?
Since I was a kid, I grew up here. I've covered this team for the better part of 20 years. I have never seen a grown man cry because of a draft pick, and I saw that today for the first time in my life. Now, the Saints hold their Saints fan draft fest across the street from here today. They do it inside of a giant tent. It was packed and out of control.
Reggie Bush, baby! Reggie Bush! It's going to be a sweet day in a dome, baby. It's going to be a sweet day in a dome.
Man, it's like finding a lottery ticket on the ground, and somebody just dropped it, and we just picked it up.
An unbelievable atmosphere in the Saints draft tent, and it started early. Inside the tent is chanting Reggie. They're sure the Saints are going to take Reggie Bush. Then the moment of drama. The Saints are on the clock, and ESPN scrolls across the screen, Jets in serious negotiations with Saints. At that moment, the room died. The life was sucked out of people, so that when the Saints walked up to the podium, this crowd was ready to explode.
Second choice, the New Orleans Saints select Reggie Bush.
Man, I need an oxygen tank right now, and I need a medic to take care of me and get my nitroglycerin pills because I'm ecstatic right now. Now if I have to die today tomorrow, I die with a smile on my face.
I was praying more than I've ever prayed before, but we got him, so I'm very happy.
The Saints made the best choice they could have made, man. I may need to be put in the hospital, man.
Ah! Wow, we got the man, Reggie. Reggie, we're going to welcome you with open arms. We love you. We got Reggie. Reggie number 1.
We could not find anyone who was not extremely excited about this pick. The Saints have just made their second round pick. He's Roman Harper, a safety from Alabama. The Saints now have lots of safeties, and Ed will be back later to go through all of the picks coming up later in sports. Again, Reggie Bush out here at 7:30 tonight, so we will hear from him tonight. Kurt?
Hundreds of Saints fans spent part of the day at the team's Airline Drive facility, excited about the Saints' first-round selection, Heisman Trophy-winning running back Reggie Bush.
I love Deuce, you know, and I hope he gets healthy. But knowing that we got Reggie Bush, you know, the best pick in franchise history, I think he's going to sell a lot of tickets in the Dome, right, which we need, you know, after Katrina and everything.
He's going to bring a lot of electricity, and he's going to put a lot of fans in the seats.
Let me tell you, the best pick in Saints history, without a doubt. You know, the city's rebuilding. We rebuild them with the #1 running back in Saints history. I love it. Love it. Already, huh? Love it, baby.
You think he's excited?
Yeah, fan is short for fanatic.
Yes.
Always keep that in
Did you
mind.
do that after they selected Bush? A little, you know, excitement, woo?
I don't think I was as animated as that.
No.
I'm pretty excited, though. I mean, you got
this is
the
a
best
big
college
deal.
player in a long time to come through, and he's going to be playing here.
And he's a special player, too.
It'll be interesting to watch how everything develops now. Well, Mama always said never make a big decision on an empty stomach, and it just so happens the biggest decision in recent history for the Saints was made at Emeril's restaurant last night. That's when the team's brass learned about the availability of Reggie Bush. Jim Henderson joins us live from Saints headquarters. And Jim, the first-round pick, pretty much a no-brainer for the team, but after that, the war room got a little busy.
Yeah, it really did, and we'll tell you all about those picks in just a second. You know, it takes an awful lot to get Sean Payton to smile when he's in the role of Saints head coach, but he, along with thousands of Saints fans, had a lot of reasons to smile today.
We're excited.
And they're not alone. When Reggie Bush fortuitously fell to the Saints in round 1's second pick, a franchise that's long needed a big break got one. Bush can do everything anyone can do with a football under his arm. Now the idea is to compile a scheme that will make the most of what he and his teammates can do the best.
He's someone that I know gives us a lot of flexibility. There'll be a lot of personnel groupings for us. There'll be the ability for us to put he and Deuce in the same backfield. I know there'll be a lot of questions in regards to two backs, and those are good problems to have, and we're looking forward to it.
Hard to argue with his credentials, isn't it? Heisman Trophy winner as a junior out of USC, consensus first-team All-American, leading the nation in all-purpose yardage per game. He's going to be a great one, at least he should be, in the black and gold. So after Reggie Bush comes as the second pick in the first round, the Saints in the second round move down from their 34th pick, trading with Cleveland, into the Browns' 43rd pick in the second round. Along the way, the Saints pick up center Jeff Fain. He's a former first-round draft choice out of Notre Dame by the Browns. He suffered a torn biceps late last season. He's 6'3", 291 pounds. He's played 3 years, but he's finished all 3 of those years on injured reserve, but they fill a need in getting Jeff Fain from the Browns. Then with the Browns selection, number 43 in the second round, the Saints add yet another safety, Roman Harper out of Alabama. And Sean Payton was just here saying that he was simply too good for them to pass up. They had him too high on the board. So, Scott, much more coming up at 6.
Thank you, Jim. Here's how the top 5 shaped up this afternoon from New York.
And joins us live from Airline Drive with more on the selection of Reggie Bush and the rest of the Saints' choices. Jim?
Lee, as you mentioned, the Saints have made 2 selections today, and with no pick in the third round because of a trade last year, their work for the day is over. But what a day it has been. First of all, with the selection of Reggie Bush, the second player taken in the first round, the Heisman Trophy winning running back out of USC, and the first pick of the draft in many people's minds. Then in the second round, with the 43rd overall pick, they pick Alabama safety Roman Harper. Now, to get that pick, the Saints traded out of the 34th pick in the second round. They gave that pick to the Browns, swapping picks with the Cleveland Browns, getting their 43rd pick in the second round, and in the process picking up center Jeff Fain from the Browns in that trade. Reggie Bush's accomplishments, pretty impressive, aren't they? Just among them, a Heisman Trophy on his mantelpiece as a junior, consensus first-team All-American honors, and also the nation's all-purpose yardage leader. For new head coach Sean Payton, it was sort of like hitting a home run in your first at-bat in the big leagues. When Reggie Bush surprisingly became available last night, Payton went from surprise to elation to preparation, all in a very short time.
It's an exciting day for me as a head coach because this is the first draft for me as a head coach. So last night was going to be difficult anyway. This morning, it was more this morning just kind of tossing and turning and knowing that we've got a lot of work ahead of us. Some of the things that we want to do offensively now will be real specifically tailored to our talent, you know, and Deuce McAllister, Reggie Bush, our receivers, our quarterback. These are all good problems to have, and we're excited about it, I know, as a staff and as an organization.
Lee, more coming up in sports.
All right, Jim.
Like the days of Ditka, the Saints didn't have to trade all their draft picks to get the guy they coveted.
You're right, Rich. Obviously talking about Ricky Williams in 1999. And Rich, you want to know how thrilled Saints team owner Tom Benson is to have Reggie Bush as the newest member of his franchise? Benson sent his private plane to New York to pick up Bush, and as we speak, the 2005 Heisman Trophy winner, a player unanimously considered the best talent in this year's draft, is on his way to New Orleans. Bush fell into the Saints' lap when the Houston Texans foolishly selected defensive end Mario Williams. Bush is a player who simply does it all, runs the ball, catches everything thrown his way, an electric athlete capable of scoring any time he touches the ball. He'll also sell tickets for a franchise that desperately needs a spark. Thousands of Who Dat diehards turned out at the team's annual Draft Fan Fest, and thankfully for the Saints, many brought their credit cards.
I can't even tell you how it makes me feel. I almost cried when I heard they selected Reggie Bush. It's about time that they do something for the fans. I think Reggie Bush is the answer. I got my credit card right here. I'm going to buy my tickets. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even buy them. But Reggie Bush, he's the man. I'm going to buy my tickets today, right now. You can watch me go over there. I'm going to buy them.
When Benson made a commitment to come back, I said, I'm renewing my tickets. I'm renewing my tickets for the next 10 years. How about that, Fletcher? Woo! Who that, baby? Who that? Who that saying they're going to beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that saying they're going to beat them Saints? Who that?
The Saints' first rookie minicamp is May 12th through the 14th, and it is open to the public, and I think it's a safe bet to assume that it will be well attended. Also, coming up in a few minutes in sports, we'll hear from Saints head coach Sean Payton and general manager Mickey Loomis. Plus, we've got all your highlights from the Zurich Classic. Rich, back to you.
All right, thank you, Fletch, and I have a feeling that guy's going to be at the rookie minicamp, right?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Fletcher Mackel. Well, what do you know? The Saints got the best running back in the draft and didn't have to trade 8 picks to get him. Of course, I'm referring to the infamous 1999 draft that brought Ricky Williams to New Orleans in exchange for 8 draft picks. No, no, no. This time, 2005 Heisman Trophy winner Reggie Bush, a running back many considered the best player to enter the draft in a decade, fell into the Saints' lap when Houston passed on selecting Bush first overall. The Saints wasted no time snapping up the player who immediately makes their offense one of the most lethal in the NFC. Head coach Sean Payton says he'll team Bush and Deuce McAllister up in the same backfield and says he isn't worried about keeping both talented running backs happy. Now realize Bush will reportedly seek a signing bonus and guaranteed money in excess of $26 million, but general manager Mickey Loomis is confident a deal will get done.
We're not in the business of paying guys what they ask for. We're in the business of making a deal that's fair to the player, fair to the team. You know, and we've got a lot of work, and you know, fortunately, I've got a good guy in Russ Ball to put that on his shoulders somewhat. You know, he's got to work with you know, Reggie's people and determine a contract that is fair for both sides. And I think there's a lot of work to be done.
As an organization, ownership, everyone involved in the personnel, coaching staff. These are exciting times, not only for this group that we talked about, but also for the city, for you guys, and everyone in this region. You know, here's another player that brings some excitement, has got a good smile on his face, is someone that we feel strongly about, just not only on the field but off the field, and that's important.
As we told you earlier in this newscast, Reggie Bush is on his way to New Orleans. He arrives tonight around 7:30. We'll hear from the newest Saint tonight at 10. The first chance fans have to see Reggie Bush is May 12th at the team's rookie minicamp. The Saints all